Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to Buddy Makes. It's been a while. My last video, we were spun together. The reason for the name change is my name's Buddy and I make things. Before, it was spun together because of all the crafts that I would do. I just spun everything together into one just huge channel, which really didn't make sense in some ways, and a lot of people were confusing it with just spinning, which is not all that I do. Apologies if it's a little bit echoey. I am in the process of moving, and I wanted to record one last time in my home before I leave. There's a long story there. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. It's been quite a while, honestly too long, but I just wanted to pop on and say I'm still alive, I'm still doing things, and I'll show you a few things of what I've been working on. I've been taking care of my mother, as most of you already know, so I've spent very little time in my own home for the past probably 4 years, until last year. There was an exception last year where I was here for quite a while. So let me show you a few things that I've worked on while I was here, and we'll go from there. The only thing I do not have with me is my spinning, and that's because it's already at my mother's and I did not bring it back with me. So what have I been working on? Past few months, the last part of 24 until now, I've done quite a few socks. I've gone a little bit sock crazy. One pair, full length. The color is not showing up what it is. I do not have the colorway band. That's more true to what it is. These are for a very special friend who's really helped me out immensely last year and is still standing by and helping me out this year. His feet are a little bit bigger than mine, and I like my socks to fit, and you're supposed to have socks just a little bit on the smaller side, so I'm pretty sure they'll fit him. Just my way of saying thank you. The last few pair of socks that I made, as you know, I love my shorties, so a little bit on the shorties. This has the traditional heel flap and gusset, which is one of my favorites, and just the standard sock toe. The striped pair, I didn't even look. These were a toe up, so they have the afterthought heel, which an afterthought heel is basically just a toe, except it's for the heel. Again, I do not recall the colorway on this. This is charcoal. These are Patton's Kroy. They're nice, heavy wool socks. These and the next pair was some yarn that I got from, I think it was Hirschner's about a year or two ago. It was one of their clearance yarns. I really like the color, but when I made it up, I used my traditional 64 stitch count, and they were way too small. So I frogged that out, went up to a 68 count, still way too small. So this is a 72 count on a size 0 needle, and the fit is pretty good. They are thinner, but that just gives me more versatile with them. Easier to wear in shoes and don't have to worry about the boots and in a way more comfortable. The next pair, again, it was a discount yarn or a clearance yarn from Hirschner's. And these are full length. Again, afterthought heel on these, which is basically just your toe. 72 stitch also. These are regular length. I'm one of those people that I like the fit of a heel flap and gusset, but an afterthought or a peasant heel fits me just as well as the heel flap does. So these were my toe up, and I don't use the Magic Loop cast on, Judy's Magic cast on. I use the one that, it was a tutorial that Earth Tone Girls did. And instead of going between the two needles, you just do a complete circle around without the figure eight. For me, that seems to work better. And I just started using it, and I've preferred it ever since. These were also on a size US 0, just so I could get the fabric tight enough to feel like it was a sock instead of being loose and lacy. And also 72 stitches. And these I just finished this past week. They're Patton's Croy, and I should have the ball band, which I do not. But they are also top down. They're semi-shorties. I could have went a few rows shorter, and they'd have been good shorties. But they're just short socks. Again, heel flap and gusset, and standard toe. Patton's Croy, so that means size US size 1 needle. I thought I was fairly close as far as the striping goes, and I was just enough off that it's going to drive me nuts. But I will live with it. I will probably just wear these either with my boots or just wear them around the house instead of slippers. And that brings me to what I'm currently working on, which I do have a ball band on this one because I have 1.5 left. It's Patton's Croy, and I need glasses for this. The colorway is Celestial Colors. Let me pull it up. I pulled out quite a bit just to see if I was getting close on the patterns. I think I am close, but I don't think it's going to be a complete perfect match. So far, I've tried a new toe on this one. It's a round toe. The difference is it's round as in a circle this way, round, instead of the increases being on the sides. The increases are instead at 4 different points. It's a tutorial from Roxanne Peterson. I followed her tutorial. I think I'm gonna like it. It's gonna give my toes a little wiggle room. The only thing I don't like is the way it comes to the sharp peak at the top, because you have increase, 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 and I think I like it. I did put a mock short row heel on it and did not like it. I've tried the mock short row, but not as something to wear, just as something to see if I could do. And I enjoyed that process, but as far as putting it on the sock, I was not happy with it. So I did tint back all the way down to where the heel started, and I just put waste yarn in for my afterthought, and I should be able to get maybe a 6-inch leg, and I do have enough of the contrast for the heel and the cuff. And so far I like the way it's working up. I haven't gotten into the pink dominant yet, but I do like the ombre look it gives. And so it's slight variant in it. So the only other thing I have with me is my recovery blanket. And that's where we'll be getting into everything that's been going on. This is my recovery blanket. I started in the center and kept going and going and going, and ended with a little bit of a lace edging on it. And this was also some yarn that I got from Hirschner's on a clearance. I do buy a lot of clearance stuff or sale prices. Unless it's something I really want, I don't do full price, which I guess it's frugal or cheap or just me, the way I was brought up. Why is this a recovery blanket? I've been staying with my mother. Last March, not this past March, but the year before, 2004, I had a few doctor's appointments the last week of March. So I came home, kept my appointments. I think I had 3 back-to-back because I tried to schedule all my appointments within a certain week if possible, so that I would be able to be here and keep each one. So from the last week of March until end of June, I'd had 4 surgeries. Everything's fine. 2 of the surgeries were on my eyes. Because of one of the surgeries, he went ahead and did the cataracts. He said they were to the point where they could be taken anytime. So we had to go in anyway, so we went ahead and did that. I had my 8th glaucoma surgery. So far the pressure is elevated but holding. I'm no longer in the danger zone. What's been lost is gone. That's fact of life. But I needed something that I could work on when I knew I wasn't going to be able to see, and then I didn't know about everything else. So this was just mindless, feel for it, knit up to the marker. Every other row was going to be a yarn over, slip the marker, knit to the next one. The odd row was going to be knit everything and slide the marker. And that's just my basic lace. I can do it pretty much with my eyes closed, so that was no problem. The border lace, I knit with Kat for one of her tutorials. It was easy for me to view the tutorial, and after I made a few practice runs, to go ahead and start. And yeah, it's goes from 4 to 8 stitches in the rows, and each section would eat up like 2 stitches. And I had 1,300 stitches in the round, so it kept me busy the whole time. That's why there's just a few pair of socks. Other updates. I'm selling my home. My mother is to the point where she needs more constant care, and she is getting to the point where she's going to need 24/7. So it's just easier for me to go there. For years I'd begged her to come here and she would not. she may miss seeing the grandchildren or great-grandchildren now, and she was not going to take that chance. Her last living sibling passed away this year, so she is basically there for my brother, his children, and his grandchildren. She's made a lot of recovery. She's had home health come in quite often. She did have her radiation and she finished all of that. She's doing well from that. Not a candidate for chemo. She's 94 and still going strong. Since I've been here at the house trying to get things wrapped up and settled and everything, she has been taking care of herself mostly. My brother is still stopping on his way in when he goes into work, fixing breakfast for the two of them. And now he is also stopping in the evenings to put her patches on. She does use the pain patches, and I cut them into 3, one on the lower back and one on each knee, and that helps give her enough relief so that she can sleep at night. And other than that, she's doing pretty good. She's making it some days better than others, and some days better than my brother and I are combined. But yeah, November was 30 years that I've lived here. I have not lived in the area where my mother lives in over 40 years. When she and father remarried a few years ago, she's got that house now, and when I left, I didn't look back. And now I'm going back. So I'll be heading back to the Highlands within the next day or two. All my furniture and everything is already gone. I've got the twin bed that I'm sitting on now in the middle of the living room, well, edge of the living room, against the wall, which dubs as my couch. And I've got 3 boxes and a few odds and ends. And that's just waiting for everything to be sold. By the time that I get this uploaded and everything, the transaction will have either been completed, or I'll know that there has to be another buyer. Because so far it's been put off, shuffled, and I met what their price cap was, and now it's, well, this and this and this, and I'm to the point of I have got to sell. So I lowered a little bit more, and if things don't go through tomorrow, then I'm going to ask for someone else. So we'll see what the next step's going to be. But I'm moving from a city where the population within the whole county is like 220,000 people to a rural area where the population of the whole county is less than 20,000. Big culture shock. The city where I live, it's neighboring city. Well, I live in Salem, Virginia. The neighboring city is Roanoke, Virginia. We have 2 Michaels. Our Joann's is going to be one of the last to close because of the lease agreement with it, but it will be also closing. 3 local yarn stores, 2 quilt stores, 4 if you want to go to the next county over, and I forgot where the other one is. I think one's in Bedford County and one's in Floyd County, which half an hour to each with those. Here I have a Kroger 1 mile one direction and 1.5 miles in the other direction. and local Walmart, 15 minutes I can be there. That's 15 minutes of city driving versus the 15 minutes it takes where I'll be moving to, which is country driving. And there's a big difference, very big difference. Rush hour traffic is what's really a big difference, because I am used to a 15-minute drive here during rush hour taking 30 to 45 minutes, where there rush hour is 15 minutes. And when it's not rush hour, it's 15 minutes. So I will have to get used to that. A lot of little things here and there. So it's not going to be easy, but I will do it. So I'm moving. But I've got a lot of friends here that I will be coming back to visit, hopefully. And anytime I need to spend the day shopping, I know where to go. That's about it for now. My next time I will be somewhere at my mother's house. Maybe I will have a room set up where I actually have some room for myself. Right now she does not want to get rid of anything and does not like the idea of things being moved around. I did put my foot down on 2 things. One of them was the love seat in her den. It was like, we are using mine because mine is more comfortable. Hers is super soft to the point it's uncomfortable because you sink and you keep sinking down and down and down until your bones hurt. Mine is stiff enough but yet soft enough that you can lean back and actually enjoy sitting for a while. The other area I put my foot down was in the kitchen. She's like, well, my pots and pans not good enough for you? I looked at her, and I've heard this so many times from her about other things. I was like, no, they're not. Because I'm going to be boxing up a lot of stuff and using what I'm used to using. I do 90% of the cooking. My brother does 9.9% of the cooking. She will make her sandwich, her ice cream, her banana splits, rather, sandwiches, snacks, things like that. She still does. So there's nothing there that's going to throw her off or anything. But the pots and pans, she got me a set like 20 some years ago, and it's the real good heavy duty stainless steel. And all you have to do is just bring some water to a boil, put salt in it and a couple of drops of dishwashing liquid, and clean as a whistle on the inside. About once a year I'll take the steel wool and polish it up, and it looks almost like new. So yeah, I put my foot down on that one. Plus I am used to a certain size pot or pan for what I need. And why would I want a saucepan this big when I just need a medium size, when most of hers are either the large, like a Dutch oven, or the real small. And it's like, I like the medium, and I've got a couple of really good medium size. Other than that, I think that's about it this time. Just wanted to say hello and remind everyone that I did change the name of everything from Spun Together to Buddy Makes. My email is still spuntogethercrafts@gmail.com, and just leave a message and I will try my best to respond. The internet is going to be very different at her house. Sometimes I get a bar, sometimes I can get 2. Most of the time I don't get any bars at her house. I'm doing everything through the phone. My brother is going to loan me a hotspot, his hotbox, and I'm going to see how that does. He swears by it. My niece swears by hers. So if everything works out there, then I'm going to go that route. Right now, it's just getting all the bills and everything condensed, switched over, and trying to get everything sold and finalized. But then again, this time tomorrow night, I should know definite one way or another whether a certain person is going to be buying, or if I need to say, hey, let's quit fooling around with that person and we'll take the next bid. So you all have a wonderful day. I hope to see you again soon. I may be on one of Russ's lives again. Who knows? He hasn't asked, well, he's asked me, but he has asked me lately. So we'll go from there. And I may even be on one of Fiber Spider's lives. He's been doing them again. He's asked me once. No, he's asked me twice. I was busy both times. So after everything's settled, I may be back in your living room on your phone again, haunting you to no end. Very disturbing thought, isn't it? You all have a wonderful day. Take care. Enjoy yourself. I have no card of the day, so I guess the only wisdom I would say is trust yourself, because we never know what other people are going to say or do. You take care. Bye.